Hey everyone, I'm here with our principal, Mr. Hankins, to talk to y'all about the differences in the SAT and the ACT. If y'all didn't know that the state of Kentucky this year has changed from the ACT to the SAT. So Mr. Hankins, can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the ACT has been around for a long time. I know even going back to the 90s and early 2000s, that's been part of what we've done here at the school. And years and years ago, that's been part of the school accountability for the state of Kentucky as well, like in the state testing and those things that we do as a measure for college readiness that the schools score that they get. So with that changing this summer, it kind of came as very unexpected. None of us knew that was coming. And we received the news over the summer that change had happened. So now, instead of kind of the old ACT model that you guys may be used to, as far as like, the different sections of the test and the timing for all those sections, and where when we would do a mock ACT day, that would kind of take the whole morning and we would finish right at lunchtime. It's going to be a little bit different now. SAT is only split up into two parts. So now when we do our mock exams here, that can be done with just like a 2-hour delay schedule that we operate on, because the only two main sections on that are the reading and the math. And so some of the other scores that are given on that come from the types of questions that are asked, the best of my understanding, because we're still trying to learn about it too. But if they are kind of a scientific based question, that kind of gives you a science score.
Yeah.
So we're still learning some of those things, and you guys will learn a lot more about it too as you're doing some of the mock SATs that we're doing with the new program that we have. But it'll definitely look different and feel different than what you've experienced in the past.
So how are we preparing for this here at the high school?
So we have used CERT before in the past. That was our ACT program. We were already looking to make a change at WCHS for a program. We weren't seeing a lot of growth in the CERT. I think it had some good parts to it, but just as far as like the functionality of it, kids using it to grow, it wasn't really, those results weren't being seen. And so we started looking into different products that we could use. And so we got a new one called Progress Learning. And what we're going to do now, we will still do the mock tests that you guys have done in the past with ACT. They're just, like I said, shorter. So the mock SATs that will be given will now just be, like I said, that shorter, where we can operate on a 2-hour delay instead of taking the entire morning to do the test. So we already have a plan in place, because thankfully this program that we had purchased also works for the SAT, because initially we had gotten it for the ACT prep. But like I said, thankfully it works for both programs.
Okay, is that all you have for us?
No, there's a couple of things that I was going to say on that some features that you guys need to know about, and we especially want homes to know about as well, our guardians, because when you guys all take, the mock SAT test, you're going to get your feedback, your scores like always, but it's also going to build you an individual study plan in each of those areas. And why that's nice, it's a little bit better than the program before, because the other one, it just had a video for every question that you missed to show you how to properly get the answer for that problem. But this one is it builds that study plan based on your results. Like if you're strong in some areas of math, but there's a particular standard or concept that you struggle with, then it'll build that unit for you based on the questions that you miss, in order for you to use those skills, and learn how to do those. So we're excited about kind of what that means and how individualized it is for our kids, because during our flex, our homeroom time, you guys are going to have those study plans that will be built for you from the program based on your mock exams that you take, that you guys can work on. So from the school perspective, we just want to really encourage families at home to have those conversations with your kids. The study plans that they have, when we do the mock SATs, we did pretty good in our first round. We got a lot of good effort from our students, but just be having those academic conversations at home about the kids. How did they score on those when they have their study plans back, because those study plans could really help them improve their scores and grow on those assessments. In assessments like this, we don't always know the point or why they're important. But as a former ag teacher and a pathway guy, we've even had some kids come back that aren't going to college, that wish they would have known that on their ACT those scores were used sometimes in the workplace to qualify them for promotions or asking them about scores that they got in certain areas. So when we heard that type of information, we always wanted to let our kids know it doesn't matter if you're going to college, it can count for other things. And obviously we just always want to know where our kids are. I want to know what you know, and not just you to just guess on everything. Give effort, try, even if it's not where you want to be. The good thing is now it's going to build you this study plan where you can have some extra help to improve in that area, so that when you take that mock exam the next time, it's higher. And then obviously we want to build up to that time where it counts for you for your state accountability. Then you're getting the best score that you can, and set you up, if it is going to college or career readiness or some kind of post-secondary training that qualifies you for, it's the best score based on all that work that you've done up to that point.
And every score affects our overall average, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing too from the school standpoint. We want all of our kids to give their best effort because we want to know where we actually are. Some of us choose to not try our best because we don't think we're going to do good anyway, so what does it matter? So maybe in the old days on the ACT we might get a 10 or a 12 because we didn't try. Because if we get a 17, we still don't feel like that's really good. But if you think about the school average for our school compared to other school communities around us, because we're competitive and we want to know how we perform versus other schools, imagine how much difference it's going to make if those kids are trying and getting 17s. So our school average right now may be a 17, but if everyone was trying, it could be up to a 19 or a 20. Because all those points from everybody add up to give us our school score. So we just want everybody to give their best effort. If it's not where you want to be, we'll work with you to try to help get your scores up. But we want our scores to be an accurate reflection of what we know here at WCHS, and not just based on students guessing because they don't care.
Okay, is that all you have?
I think so.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Hankins.
Thank you.